Good morning, everyone. I am coming to you with what everyone is always wanting more of. More Warhammer, more the Horus Heresy, more Dan Abnett written novels, especially Dan Abnett written novels within the Horus Heresy. So today, we're talking about Legion. Legion is the 7th book in the Horus Heresy series, and it might be my favorite so far. If it's not my favorite, then it is a very close number 2 behind the first book, which of course was also written by Dan Abnett, and that is Horus Rising. So let's talk about Legion. Let's talk about what makes this book so awesome. So one thing I do need to go ahead and get out of the way right now, and I think it is a testament to Dan Abnett's writing, right? So the last book that we reviewed was Descent of Angels, and my big complaint with Descent of Angels was that it did not feel enough like it didn't feel enough like it fit into the heresy the way that I felt like it needed to, or it should have, right? So the thing with Descent of Angels is I felt like that was basically like, this just felt like a Dark Angels novel. It just felt like a backstory to the Dark Angels before the Imperium fell on them, which is not a bad thing. I just didn't really think that there was enough heresy connections in that book for it to really matter. This book is not really all that big on the heresy either. Like, especially towards the end, they make enough comments about it, and there's enough, like, here's the point, that I'm willing to let it go, mostly because the book is so damn good. I did not want to put this book down. This was a quick, easy 400-page read that just, boom, you know, I'd be like, all right, I read 40 pages, I need to get to bed, I gotta get up early for work tomorrow, you know, and then it's like, oh, but the next chapter's only 5 pages, and then one after that's only 8, and the one after that's, and the next thing I know, I've read another 25 pages, just because, again, I didn't want to stop, right? So that's the testament to Abnett just being so damn good. So, Legion. Legion focuses on the Alpha Legion. We have Alpharius and his band of a bunch of lying spies, basically. You never know what they're doing because every time they look at you, they are lying about something. Starting with, they all call themselves Alpharius so that you never know who the Primarch actually is. Now, here's the thing about these guys. For one, they're always lying to you. 2, they're super pragmatic. There's no room for feelings. I mean, there's rarely any room for feelings within the Space Marines, but every now and then you'll find a Space Marine with a little bit of heart. No. These guys are pragmatic as it can get. The trolley problem of save five people or save one, but the one might... No. They are saving those 5 people. That one, he dead, okay? That's the Alpha Legion for you, right? And I gotta say, I ended up really liking the Alpha Legion. Should I ever decide to build an army, I do think that it will end up being an Alpha Legion army because I actually really did like them, even though they are, kind of dicks. But it's okay. It happens. We all like dicks every now and then. Don't misquote me on that one. Alright, so the book is mostly about them because they're on this planet. It's the last planet that they're trying to bring to compliance before we get into the events of the heresy. So they are trying to bring this planet to compliance, and the Imperial Army is having all sorts of issues with it. That's why the Alpha Legion ends up showing up, because they have to request assistance because they are just having so much trouble. And one of the things they say is, like, even though we have so much more technology than these people, we just can't seem to break through. And they have this sky magic. And of course, anytime anyone brings up the word magic, they're like, whoa, dude, don't say that. That sounds, sounds like something we shouldn't be talking about. Magic, that just sounds too voodoo. It sounds like religion. And you know that the Emperor doesn't like that, that whole religion thing. And so, they're like, what is it? Well, it turns out that the people on this planet have basically been communicating in touch with chaos this entire time. Of course, at this point in time, no one knows anything about chaos. Except the Alpha Legion. The Alpha Legion has actually learned about chaos at this point. None of the other legions have, at least as far as we know at this point and what we've read about the Horus Heresy, but the Alpha Legion, it turns out, has. Chaos is not something that surprises or worries them, because this is something that somehow or another they are aware of. Now, here's the other thing about this. So we got the Alpha Legion part of this. Then we've got 2 other pieces. So we do have the Imperial Army, and it focuses on 2 Imperial Army soldiers. We have Pedo Sonica and Hurtado Bronzi. And both of them are, I don't remember the exact, hetman. They are hetman, which is basically, captain, leader, sergeant of leader of a squad, basically, right? So they end up getting recruited by the Alpha Legion to basically be some of their human agents. And that's the interesting thing about the Alpha Legions. They actually work pretty closely with humans. They have a lot of human agents. So, like, even though they are as pragmatic and kind of uppity in a way as what they are, they actually work with humans better than I would say a lot of the other legions do, because they're like, hey, we could use the fact that they're, inserted with all the other humans to know what's going on, to, have eyes, ears, agents, doing whatever. So we follow them a lot. One thing that I do find interesting about this Imperial Army, so you have the Hetmen, which are all men that are leading the squads, but then you have what's called an Uxor. It's UXOR. Uxor, I think that's the right way to say it. And they are only women, and they lead the Hetmen in their squads. But the thing about the Uxors that sets them apart is they have what's called the Sept, which is basically they have psychic, they're like mini psychers. They're not full-blown psychers, but they have, enough like psychic sensitivity that they are able to tap into things in the warp, and that's how they use their Sept to kind of, give orders and lead their squads on the battlefield and stuff like that. So that's pretty interesting. So then we get to Uxor Roxana. So she has met and has this agent, this spy, who's working on the people of, the planet that we're trying to, break down and bring to compliance, called John Grammaticus. Now, he is not known to her as John Grammaticus, because here's the thing about John Grammaticus. He is actually a different spy for something called the Cabal. Yes, there's a Cabal in this book, because we need another weird, shadowy element to Warhammer, but I actually really dig it. So the Cabal is this collection of Xenos. There are some humans involved, but it's mostly Xenos, who have come together, and these are old Xenos genes, basically. Like, these are the Xenos that have been around for like 70, 80, 90, 100,000 years, right? And so they have the ability to see into the future, and they can see the heresy coming. They can see the civil war that is about to destroy the galaxy, especially should chaos win and take over. And they are desperately trying to stop it so that the whole galaxy doesn't fall to chaos. Well, they have identified the Alpha Legion as being the only legion, their only hope that they have in order to prevent the heresy from happening, or to at least get victory over chaos, because the Alpha Legion, in their mind, is the only legion that's pragmatic enough to do exactly what needs to be done, despite any feelings or thoughts or wants or anything like that. It goes back to their pragmatism. So Grammaticus is a spy for them, and he is trying to figure out how to get in touch with the Alpha Legion to then hook the Alpha Legion up with the Cabal, so the Cabal could try to convince them to help the Cabal, which we already know is going to be difficult, because it's like, hello, humans, specifically Space Marines, who like to murder the absolute shit out of Xenos. We would like you to help us, these 100,000-year-old Xenos. How will you like to be assistants for us, right? So we already know that is going to be that's going to be interesting, right? So that's where we're at. That's basically the general idea of what's going on in this book. It's a ton of fun. The way that it ties enough into the heresy is basically everything I just explained about the Cabal, trying to get in touch with the Alpha Legion, letting them know about chaos, about the Civil War. Now, I don't want to say any more because I don't want to spoil it, but that it does tie in that way. This is not like a full-blown heresy book like Descent of Angels was, but I think this one does enough, and it's interesting enough, fun enough, good enough that I am willing to not have the same complaint about this one that I did the last one. That may be unfair of me, but I am human. I do make mistakes. I guess I am not the Emperor. So, y'all have a great day. Come back for more Warhammer, more games, more reviews, more comic books, more whatever. Check out the page on TikTok. We'll have the shorter reviews over there. We won't pass 3 minutes, so you won't be, if you're in a hurry, you wonder what my thoughts are, go back over there. Same name, reviewing the nerdy things. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, drop a comment. Let's talk about this, and y'all have a great day.